Could you shortly introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Robert Rose. I am a content marketer, I guess you could say. I've been doing marketing for about 15 years, really in mostly the digital space. I started in the mid-90s, working with large companies, mostly in the entertainment and media space, NBC, Paramount, and then of course I wrote the book with Joe Pulizzi, Managing Content Marketing, which came out just at the end of last year.
A good story and associated really compelling content is key for content marketing. Now, you quote Steven Spielberg in this context. Stories don't have a middle or an end anymore. They usually have a beginning that never stops.
I'm so very glad you pulled that one. It's one of my favorites from the book for sure. If you think about every great movie you go to, and especially maybe Steven Spielberg movies, they begin amazingly. They begin with just a great, engaging event that basically pulls you into that story and never lets you go. Yeah. And that's the mark of a great story. It's the mark of a great movie. And I think it's the mark of a great content marketing process.
You know, every company has content, and it's just lying in their archives, collecting dust.
Exactly. How do I get all this content out of my organization?
Yeah.
Because most of us aren't blessed with great writers. You know, our CEO isn't a great writer, and our product development people aren't wonderful writers, and it's very hard. I'll give you a quick example. So a company I worked with, the CEO really wanted to put out a CEO blog that was a thought leader, and the guy was a really great thinker. I mean, he was really a good thought leader, but he just didn't have time to write, quite frankly, and then he wasn't a great writer on top of that. So what we did was we said, look, every Friday, just leave us a long voicemail. Just leave us a 5 or 6 or 7 minute voicemail where you give us your thinking, and then over the weekend we'll put together a great blog post. And that's what I was getting at earlier with that whole, you know, it's a new muscle for most organizations. They're doing it, right? They're all producing this content. The product people are producing great content and they're shoving it in their drawer, or they're sticking it up on the FAQ somewhere. The marketing people are creating great content. The CEO is probably creating some wonderful content, but nobody's talking to each other. There's no process to support all this wonderful content that's getting created.
What are your tips to get an audience to engage? Now, the actual question is, please tell me the secret of a viral success. You know, let's just start with what are your tips.
If I had the secret, I would not be on this webcast. I would be off in the Bahamas drinking a drink somewhere. Yep. So finding the channels where the engagement or the conversation wants to happen, and then asking for it. The second piece is understanding that every piece of content that you have has some call to action. We're marketers after all. Content marketing is is half of it. And so every piece of content has a call to action. It's just that call to action won't necessarily be a buy now or engage with a salesperson type call to action. Depending on where that content sits in your funnel, the call to action could simply be read this other article that's related to this, or sign up for our email newsletter, or...
What was the need for your book, Managing Content Marketing? It's a sequel to get content, get customers from Joe Pulizzi.
You know, all of the things that we've been talking about today, which are, you know, how do we actually put this operation into practice? How do we, you know, it's all great, but how do we do it? We didn't see any books out there that address that. And the way the presentations will typically go is, content marketing is changing the world. Here's a study to prove that. And here are 4 great companies that are doing that, and they're just getting amazing results. And Red Bull and American Express and, you know, all these wonderful companies that are doing content marketing and getting wonderful success out of it. And then the very last slide of the presentation is, you should go build a business case with your boss to do this. Yeah. Goodbye. Yeah. And that would be it. And people would walk out of there going, well, what do I do now? Right? You know, now I'm all wired up and I want to go do something, but I don't know what to do. We wanted this book to be the answer to that.
Robert, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this knowledge and helping us further with content marketing.
It's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for evangelizing it. It's great to see. And I will say this.
You're welcome.
About the Netherlands, I have gotten more interest and passion out of the Netherlands for content marketing than just about any other European country. So it's hats off to the Dutch for figuring this stuff out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We'll spread the word. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.